And Dennis, 33-year-old Callie Callahan really has quite a story. While working as a nurse in Gaza, she moved from location to location under the threat of rocket fire, gunfire, and bombings, unsure if she'd make it out alive.
There were rockets firing from 100, 200 meters away and bombs landing 100, 200 meters away.
Emily Callahan, known to many as Callie, is a survivor. She came home to Connecticut just 9 days ago after narrowly escaping the horror and bloodshed of the Israel-Hamas war.
Everyone is asking me, how are you? And I don't know. It's complicated to be back. I feel like I have one half of myself in each one of the worlds.
That other world is Gaza, where the 33-year-old nurse began her second mission with Doctors Without Borders back in August.
That's mostly what my job is. I go into hospital settings and focus on how do you give civilians with limited access the best possible care they can receive in the context that they live in.
Callie knew the risk of escalation in Gaza. There were even protocols in place, but nothing could prepare her for what happened in early October.
Take me back to October 7th, what that day was like and what you experienced in Gaza.
When I woke up on October 7th, it was 6:30 in the morning, and I woke up to rocket fire, and it was a lot.
Callie says she quickly opened all the windows of her guest house to stop the glass from shattering because of the shock waves. Her team then held an emergency meeting with their boss.
You could see his fear, and he started to say, they took Erez, and there is a ground and air infiltration into Israel, and it's bad.
In her family's kitchen, Callie shows us video of what it was like in the days after Hamas stormed southern Israel.
That's a rocket. That's our backyard.
She soon became familiar with the distinct sounds of war.
They sound different. So a rocket launch outgoing sounds different than an airstrike incoming. And so you could hear it, and you could figure out pretty quickly, is it outgoing or incoming?
With little food or water, Callie says she and her team members spent days moving from location to location to find shelter and evade targeted bombings. And at one point,
there was a crowd of people outside, and that they had parked cars in front of our garage. And they were saying that if we didn't bring them in the convoy, that they were going to kill us.
Barricaded with no way out, Callie says she went to a bunker and sent a text to her family that no one ever wants to make.
And I said, I love you. And I want you to know that I'm not scared, and that I'm okay, and that I'm gonna fight like hell to come home. And I'm gonna do everything I can to get out. And if I don't, thank you for everything.
Incredibly, Callie says they managed to leave that location with the help of local Palestinians.
And they're the ones that talked down 300 people ready to kill us.
Dennis, and tonight you're going to hear about the makeshift parking lot camp that Callie spent 20 days in with little food or water, and how she made it to the border crossing.
You don't get to be a person anymore. You don't get to matter in the equation. You need to keep the people around you safe. You need to keep the people around you alive.
Emily Callahan, known as Callie, is adjusting to life at home in Connecticut after being one of the first Americans to get out of Gaza during the Israel-Hamas war. The 33-year-old nurse worked in Gaza at a hospital on her second mission with Doctors Without Borders.
The bond you have with the other people you're working with who are witnessing the same things that you're witnessing is incredible. You become family. very quickly.
When Hamas invaded southern Israel on October 7th, Callie and members of her team were given a direct order to leave, moving from place to place, seeking safety and shelter.
Survival mode, is that an accurate way to describe this?
I call it ER nurse mode. And any ER nurse will understand exactly what that means, where you go into clinical thinking.
Callie says they encountered life-threatening situations amid the constant sounds of gunfire, rockets, and missiles.
What a lot of people in Gaza do during escalation or during a time of war is they take a Sharpie marker and they write their children's names on their legs, so that if they die, they're identifiable.
Callie and her team eventually headed south to a makeshift tent city at a UN logistics base parking lot.
There's still bombs going off very close to where we are, and there are still rockets flying from very close to where we are, and this place is filling up with people, and I know that we do not have enough food or water or running water or anything.
They were joined by tens of thousands of others fleeing the war, sleeping outdoors with very little resources. Callie says Palestinian nationals helped them get by.
I owe them my life in every way you can imagine, from basic survival needs of food and water to seeing beyond labels.
After days of uncertainty, chaos, and unsanitary conditions, Callie and members of her team made it to the Rafah border.
Ibrahim had all of our passports in a stack and fought his way to the front of every mob scene and made sure that there was someone advocating for us. I remember even then considering staying. I remember even then I could go against the direct order to leave. I could stay.
But she did cross that border, a move she questioned.
I remember my family at one point on the phone asking me to choose to live.
Back here at home, Callie is processing what happened, with her thoughts still very much with the people she left.
What do you want people to know from your experience of being there?
That the numbers you see on your screen are more than just statistics. That there are real people, innocent people, who are dying. The scream a mother makes when she loses her child is the same in every language. And watching grown men crumble under the weight of grief is the same in every culture.